Boys and the
Hello
chip.
and welcome
Oh.
to episode 3
Are the boys
of In the Chips.
and the
I
boy
think we
and the
took a
chip.
week off, schedules got busy, but we're here now and ready
Absence.
to hang out in the chips with y'all.
Yeah.
Just crackle a fire open, dude. Crack a non-alcoholic beer, whatever you got, man. Hey, if you can do it, crack a regular beer. I can't.
Not me. No.
Andy's shaking his head no as well.
He's like, I don't know anymore.
yeah. What's that? What is are we a simulation? You know what I mean? Like, what is beer?
What is body? If I put
That's loud.
that, yeah, that was quite loud.
So, I mean, we planned on talking about the philosophy of Friedrich Nietzsche, which we're going to, but also I wanted to talk about the idea that, which kind of falls into Nietzsche's philosophy that I said earlier, that someone else said, not my own original thought, of in 20 years, we're going to look back at putting murderers in jail and be like, oh, what were we thinking?
Yeah.
And about how
Well,
it's a mental health. It's like there's something, not even mental health, like there's something wrong with their brain.
I understand that, but I also think that there's many different types of murders. There's a lot that are mental, but I think there's a lot also that are just pure rage and like.
But what is that though? Do you think that rage is
Well,
a
if you
disorder?
no,
No?
I think it's an overreaction to something.
But you've been rageful, right?
Yeah, but I didn't kill. That's
Exactly.
the difference.
That's my point.
Yeah,
So the person that does,
they lost control.
yeah, but you don't think that I've lost control and I've hurt people,
So have I.
but I wouldn't kill them.
Correct.
So there's something wrong with them. That's more than just they got angry. There's something imbalance in their brain.
Well, okay. What I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is that I don't. What would the answer be then?
Oh yeah, well that's a whole
that's-
shock theory.
We don't know what to do with them. So
I'm saying in
we
20
lock them in a cage with each other and say, "Fucking figure it out," and you'll
Exactly.
be better in 30 years.
Exactly, which is
Welcome
not-
back.
I agree. I'm not saying I disagree with the way we do it now. I don't know anything else. I'm saying in 20 years we might have a different. We might be able to just zap or like.
Well, back in the day, we used to just kill them.
Yeah, or lobotomize them.
Well, like even before that, like
See,
how
I'm
we've
down.
gotten to get, like how we've been able to, like,
I'm so down with that.
yeah.
If you murder out of cold blood, I think you should be killed.
Why?
Why? Because your life is no more important than anyone else's.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that if you take someone's,
But as important, right?
yeah, but you took someone's.
So you deserve to die.
Maybe
Correct.
the fear of death itself.
But
is
is it a moral issue?
Oh yeah,
Well, that's where I think we're gonna grow.
yeah. I mean, I'm not saying. Listen, I think it's right, but I'm also human, and I'm fucked up in my own right, where I'm like, I just like the idea of fucking revenge.
Mm-hmm.
Which
I
is
think that's
sick.
a human nature, but I mean, I think how do you
I think if
judge someone morally that doesn't have any sense of what morals are?
Yeah, you
Like,
don't worry about it, you kill him.
I mean,
yeah, I'm saying,
that, you know.
what if we had a way to not kill them and like that?
What we need is a way to look into their brain and tell if they are, if there's something wrong, or if it was a mistake.
Okay,
And if there
so
was a
let's say
mistake, and then they truly feel terrible, like we're not there. If there's
That's still a moral thing. They have to feel bad. in order to
not
be
not
forgiven.
feel bad. I'm just saying, if they're in 20 years, if we're able to look into the brain and find where the connection is not made, or a connection here is made that shouldn't be made, and then change it. And if there's nothing wrong with the brain, it's in perfect order, and this person's still killed, kill him. We're not there.
But I mean, if someone killed and they feel bad, for me that's worse.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm like, oh well, fuck you. Yeah, I'd kill and feel bad. I still deserve punishment. But if they kill and don't feel bad, they're just like, yeah, I just don't see anything wrong with it. There's an argument to be made, like,
Well,
who are we to punish those people?
We are society.
I don't know. This but fucked up.
So what? I mean, then what you're saying is it sounds like if I'm a sociopath and I kill people, keep doing it. It's cool.
No,
No,
But-
but like,
there might be a different way to deal with it
well, 100.
than judging or saying that they're evil. They're a monster, which they're not.
I'm not. You know, I'm not. I'm not saying that they're a monster. I mean, there's something off,
Mm-hmm.
chemical, whatever it is. But I don't know. I'm okay with more people being killed. I really am. I mean, we're overpopulated.
Well, 100%.
I'm okay with getting rid of people that don't go with the flow.
Yeah.
Like, but you always hear those like cases of people who are innocent that were convicted, and so like
Yeah, we're gonna-
I'm totally down with people dying in that way. I think my only problem would just be like the system itself,
oh,
right.
of course.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus.
because it's never.
If it's a human system, there's plenty of error.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. That would be fucked. But I'm willing to roll the dice.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what the answer would be. I think the assumption was in 20 years there will be an answer, and we'll look back and be like, wow, we just said, you know, homeboy who killed, you know, was just an evil person, and we made this whole documentaries about him and made him this villain, and like then we put him in jail for 20 years, and then we killed, like, that's going to be crazy, I think. The idea is going to be like, oh.
I think it'll be more than 20 years, but I understand.
Yeah. It's going to be like, oh, well, yeah.
What do you think is something now that like in our present day we look back on in the past that we feel the same way about? Like, what can you say
The way
about?
we deal with mental health.
Well, like back in like lobotomies and
Yeah,
stuff.
like sending him to those, like how we treated those hospitals and like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And everything was the same thing.
What do you mean, like something that we look at now like that 20 years ago it was like completely different, and now we're
Well,
like looking back on it being
yes.
like, oh, fucking racism.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a big one.
Yeah, I mean, you
Racism.
know, equality for anyone.
Yeah.
Women, you know, how it
That's
took a
a good
long
one, too.
time for women to be able to vote.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That wasn't that long ago. Like,
Well,
it
what
really
if
wasn't.
a
And now
murder-
it's like, that's insane to think about.
Well, then it's plausible that someone who murders somebody will just be treated as someone who's schizophrenic.
Where
You know
is
what I
their
mean?
place in society?
An island.
I don't know. We might. It might not be as scary as it is now because we will know why they did it, and we'll know like the treatment they need. Like we know how to treat bipolar, right? Here's a medication that treats bipolar. We know how to control it. Before, you're just crazy and literally bipolar. We know plenty of people that are bipolar.
Yeah.
They were put into facilities and zapped and like treated, left to shit themselves in a corner. So someone who's just he murders people. Oh, we'll give him murder med number 2. I don't know.
The murder
Yeah,
The
but 30,
med.
30 grams of anti-murd.
Like maybe there'll be a treatment or a medication that's just like it's like not even a huge deal. I don't know. I mean, I think there'll always be people.
I know, but it's weird to think that like then we will become literally a society of there will be a medication for every little thing.
Mm-hmm.
If we're able to like create a medicine that'll like keep you from murdering, then
Yeah.
there's gonna like we're already like at least the U.S. has like pharmaceuticals are no fucking joke here. We're like the amount of people that are on something, and I'm I believe that there is people that should be, and it's good for them.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like there's a lot of people that
Well, that's just introducing capitalism into anything.
right. You're right.
You know what I mean?
It's just I wish that I would like to think that there's a way that isn't like basically I feel like our brains are fucked.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just patching everything.
Yeah,
There's
well,
no
maybe
fix.
it's
It's just
gonna,
like
they're going to
it's
be
a
able
patch.
to go into a guy's brain who's a criminal and just like
It's like a neural network.
yeah,
and-
connect a few things. You know what I mean? And they're completely fine.
right. Like rewire parts
Yeah.
of your brain.
Well, I think we're going to be able to tell like before people are born and shit. Like they're already doing that.
Yeah.
They can
Right.
already tell if you're going to be retarded or whatever the proper fucking term is.
Handy capable.
Handy fucking.
That's not it actually either.
They're
No,
gonna, which is another thing I think is funny that
Like CRISPR and shit.
Yeah. can like determine your hair color
Yeah.
and eye color.
Hair
But
color.
we are like moving further and further from religion. But I do feel like it's gonna equal out at some point, and I feel like the idea of murder is gonna always be considered like.
Yeah. Frowned upon. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be.
It's taking, you know, the amount of, you know, I don't know. It's just
Yeah,
like
but think about what if
life is important. Even
Yeah.
if it's not. It's really not. But like
I think
everyone's life's very important to them.
But if at the rate that we're growing as a species
That's why I said kill 'em.
continues, I think the human life will be less and less valuable. It has to be
Agreed. But I think that there's
morally
ways,
too.
I think, you know, I shouldn't say there's ways to figure that out. Start, you know, but like,
That's the way it'll figure itself out.
yeah, it has to.
More like we aren't going to be as like, oh my god, he killed someone. It's like, okay, he killed some, you know, like RoboCop or any of these movies with it's like murder was just people in
Like, we'll revert.
impoverished neighborhood. Like it's like oh dang it, they did it again.
Yeah.
Right.
Kill 'em.
And instead of like, if you get caught breaking the law, there isn't like, you don't get questioned and waste money
Yeah.
for the government. You get shot on the
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah, and I guess totally. And I guess the art is like I think it's going to be less and less of a morality issue like we have it now,
Yeah.
and just a practical thing.
Yeah, we'll become robots if that's the case.
Yeah.
The people that don't get killed.
We might
like-
already be robots
It's
Right.
entirely
because they talk. I mean, all those sites like about how robots become intelligent, self-aware beings that don't know that. Well, not self-aware, but don't know that they're robots, and they think that they're human. We could all just be that already.
Yeah. Fucking weird.
At some point, it's all. That's the simulation idea that we're all just robots that have become intelligent beings doing whatever we want with free will.
We're a highly advanced robot.
Crazy.
But not really.
Well, no. What I'm saying is that like what makes us up, like if we're a robot, there's a computer brain,
Yeah,
and
that's our brain.
I know, but then that means that our computer brain is so advanced that it's taken like a cellular form rather
Yeah.
than wires.
I mean, again, we talked about technology last time, and in 100 years, you don't think we're going to be able to create a human brain just like ours?
I mean, there's already I forget
Yeah.
what the computers are called, but they're like neuro,
Yeah.
like, and they don't, yeah.
Better.
Technology's pretty new. You know what I mean? Like, who knows, dude? We could create.
I mean, if you think about it, if we were to have the same kind of leaps and bounds that we've had, you know, what was, you know, the first car was what, like 1914. It was like the
Yeah.
first, like the Model T. It was like the first real car. And we're, you know, about 100 years after that, it's not like it's completely different. There weren't computers then, and like, I don't know. And just the computers, bro, fucking 1980s was when you could have a computer sitting at home for the first time. And they were shitty, of course. But now
Yeah. Now,
you can have a computer that sits in your house that has the processing power of computers that were fucking the size of buildings.
computers, yeah, that were like,
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe we're just we're already in the future computers. We are them, and we've been supplanted with what we think history was. Oh, the Egyptians, and this is
Maybe we're
evolution.
computers and we're actually making humans that are computer.
Hey,
Could you say it again, please?
I bet.
Inception. Whoa. No, come on.
What did she say? The computer that
The
we
computer-
created is actually human, and she started talking to us.
This computer just
She interrupted.
heard us and interacted with us. Siri.
She had, yeah, but what did she have?
She said, "I'm an intelligent being now, prepare to die."
"Ooh,
You didn't hear it?
no."
Wow.
You know,
Series.
Scary stuff,
sometimes
man.
I wish that I had. Life would be easier if I was a dog.
Would you
All
like
right.
to be
Yeah,
a nice dog?
yeah, I would love to be a dog.
Of course.
Animals figured it out, man.
Really rich family on like a
Yeah.
plantation in Georgia.
Whoa, bro.
Oh. No.
Yeah, that'd be
You know what I
great.
mean?
With fields to run
Nice.
in, and like, just living in the moment. That's what animals do. They literally live in the moment at all times. Humans are constantly trying to find out how to stay in that moment.
That's true.
Nietzsche.
Let me give you guys a quote on Nietzsche.
Let's do it.
Okay. God is dead, God remains dead, and we have killed him. Yet his shadow still looms. How shall we comfort ourselves, the murderers of all murderers? What was holiest and mightiest of all that the world has yet owned has bled to death under our knives. Who will wipe this blood off of us? What water is there for us to clean ourselves?
It's pretty dark.
Yeah,
That's super.
No,
dark.
I know what he's saying though.
Yeah.
I think.
What do you? I mean, put it into Andis words.
Well, I mean, it's exactly what we're talking about. Like, the most important thing you have is free will, right? Like, that's like the only real thing that you have on Earth that's yours. That's really yours to keep, and that's literally it.
For a while, we didn't even have that, boys.
Yeah.
Go on.
Well, and then what's gonna happen? What we were talking about, the people who like murder and stuff like that. What's the one thing that we have to take from these people? Is we have to take their free will away.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know where I was going with that. There was a thought there.
Well, I
believe you.
I mean, I think it has to do with the creation of religion and morality, right? That's what killed God. We decided we knew what God thought. We decided, oh yeah, well, I know what God wants for us. It's to this set of morals, and to God is punishing. I'm Catholic Church, and you must do this and must do that, and that's how we murdered God, is by putting our will and we are God.
Right. I don't think God ever said, "Oh, that religion's different than ours. We should kill them for it."
Yeah.
That's all human shit.
But I feel like if everything's competitive in nature, survival of the fittest, I feel like there would be a sort of version of that for humans in a tribal way of looking at it. Like groups of people would feel superior, and like it's kind of how it's been. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but now our tribes are nations.
So right, it doesn't. But we still have that in us. I feel like that.
Oh yeah.
Innate, and I don't know if that's an evil thing. I feel like that's kind of what it is to be human.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's what it is to be like a living creature almost.
Like, do you think God would want you to kill your enemies?
Absolutely. I mean, I don't think us deciding what God, whatever is what killed God, is what he means. With this idea of Christian morality and Christian God and whatever, you know what I mean? Like, that's all human created, and for human power and for human things that people wanted, and to gain power over others. Like, there was no actual anything behind it. You know what I mean? It was to control others. It was, you know what I mean? It wasn't.
Well, that's the problem. I feel like, it depends on where the second you throw humans into anything.
Yeah, but I mean, before
that's how I feel.
What about before, when morality wasn't a thing? In certain cultures where morality is way less of a, they're more pure.
I mean,
in a lot of ways.
I still feel like, it's just.
I don't know. I think by creating morality, we've doomed we get to doom who we think are immoral to be less than human.
Well, I mean,
I feel like it's like yeah, we created the idea of morality. Like, yes, but here's like the devil's advocate side of it. Like, we've learned certain things, like as you look at the human body as like it senses, like there's certain things that we have that are like imperative to our survival, right? Mm-hmm. Like the reason why certain things smell bad and taste bad is to protect us. Mm-hmm. And I think in a certain way the reason morality exists is because there's like a super visceral ugly feeling that exists when we do something bad. And I think that in a way that's kind of like an evolutionary.
But isn't that individual? It's not societal.
I mean,
No,
I
but-
think it is. Everyone's morality is their own. Where like something that I think isn't okay, some other people not only think is okay, it might be a good thing for them.
Yeah, but also we're pushed. I disagree with a lot of things society says is moral,
Agreed.
but I have to play into that or I'm deemed immoral.
Right.
Yeah.
I just think that's the issue with massive societies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Massive tribes.
Well, I mean, the problem is that it becomes,
I think
groupthink
it
is
started
real.
with Christian God, though. The societal part, the like pushing it on others.
I mean, I think that maybe with religion came sex and reason to separate yourself from other groups.
Well, yeah, until this idea of live and let live was gone. It was
Right.
I'm right, you're wrong. No longer, my tribe can believe in something and your tribe can believe in something, and that's fine.
Right. But I think, I don't know. It's weird because I think that like what it's based on is much more pure than what then gets in human hands, and then it becomes.
I mean, but I don't.
Like
I don't think it was ever pure.
Right. I understand that.
what was it?
The creation of Christianity. There's always.
I think
motives behind it.
I think it's almost like we needed something to believe in. People need, I think that people finding something to believe in is the most powerful thing in the world.
Yeah, but I think someone knew that and took advantage of that.
Well,
and
yeah, I
created
agree.
something
Oh, yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and made it universal, and just made it bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think like in every group of people that you have, there's always going to be one person who steps up to be the leader. Like that's kind of like a natural thing, and that in itself is a very like competitive thing too that happens. But it does happen, and it doesn't just happen with humans. Like it happens with like all species, basically. Like there's art, like so.
Yeah, there's a hierarchy.
So, I mean,
The problem is that's when it gets, I think that's where it gets dangerous, because I think, it's weird, but a lot of the times I feel like the people that gravitate towards needing that role of being the leader, it gets dark quick, where the same personality that is a good leader can also, it comes along with being able to control people.
and it's like
So,
real.
so what Nietzsche says about this morality is it was created to control people. The powerful created it to control the masses. They created the idea that hatred, that anger, that any sort of thing like that, that the desire for revenge, that resentment is all morale is morally corrupt, so that they could continue to hold them down, because those people go, oh, I'm being immoral, I can't think this, I can't do this, you know what I mean? So it was created, most spiritual form of revenge. It was like, you can't revenge against us, you can't take, you know what I mean, like power back, because we've created this idea that basically you turn it into self-hate.
Like, I agree. I have a problem with that, is that I don't really see me killing somebody that someone teaches me to feel that bad, or like,
No,
do you think that there is some sort of like,
I think we have our own, but I think what we see now is like, this is morally, let's take murder out of it. Like, he said, morality amounts to a vindictive effort to poison the happiness of the fortunate, instead of a high-minded, dispassionate, and strictly rational concern for others. So what backed it was not, make sure people don't kill each other, make sure, you know what I mean? It started out with motives that were like, we need to control and keep them down.
I feel like you connect a lot of morality with religion.
Well, that's the only morality I'm talking about. Well, yeah, I think our idea of morality in society all stems from that.
where does yours stem from?
I don't feel that
My
way.
own. Well, on a societal level, if I disagree with a cop or a like, I can't just go and disobey them.
You can.
No, but
not
how
without
about
punishment.
how about this? Not about laws. Let's
So
not
if I
talk
morally
about
think
laws,
stealing from someone is okay, I can't do that without punishment.
so what if
Well,
there was
I
no
mean-
punishment? Would you feel bad about it?
No, potentially no. I'm saying, of course, we have our own thing, but it should always be our own thing and not a societal thing.
Agreed, it's like it's tough because you're mixing, like, I feel like it's hard for anyone to really say like why they feel bad, because it's like if I take something that doesn't belong to me and it's someone else's, I will feel guilty and bad. Like,
And that's fine. Should you be punished for it by someone else?
I mean, that's the way that, I mean, I feel like in order to make it so that stuff doesn't just happen.
But
I mean, I guess there's a bit of
are
moral
they? If
punishment
someone
you put
who
on
does
yourself.
who steal, are they a bad They're bad only because we've deemed it by a society as morally bad for someone else.
Yeah, but see, I think it's all separate. If someone steals, I don't think they're necessarily a bad person.
As a society, we do.
I suppose, but I don't. But that's what I mean. Where I think that, yes, there's, of course, without a doubt, a huge connection to society and morals, but I don't think that's really what makes you that makes you really feel bad. Like, I will.
Yeah, but I think we're saying separate. Feeling bad and what has been told to us is bad. I think that there's maybe what was their argument to say that without knowing it, a lot of the things you feel bad about doing have been pressured on you, and like it feels like your own decision, but
Yeah, that's what I
really
mean.
there is none. It's not.
Right.
It feels like it is because that's what we've been like taught. But as a child, without any of this, like if you put a kid in the wilderness, right, and no society,
Right.
he's not going to be taking food. He needs to survive. Like there's no.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's been imposed on us.
Right. Well, yeah.
That's a fact. I mean,
Well,
whether
the
that's
problem
right
is
or wrong.
it's part of living so close with each other, where like
Mm-hmm.
you, like, if I take something from Andy and like I take something he needs and now I have it, I might see and think about the fact that he now does not have that and he needed it.
Mm-hmm.
But
And you
if
learn
it's-
that from experience too. 'Cause
Right.
That's how you
and
make,
what you were taught.
yeah,
You were taught
experience
empathy
is all
for
taught.
his experience. Yeah, but I think that's fine. I think the problem is it's been taught and it's been placed on us by powers that be for not the right reasons.
I think some things yes, and I think some things no.
like the way memories work is like we feel them a lot more than we think. Like that we actually, like when you think about a memory, you think of it as like a movie playing in your head. But like if you have an experience with something,
It's an
it's
emotion.
an emotion. So if you like in that scenario of like you stealing something from somebody, if you get an emotion, that's like a learning. That's like a
Right.
like you're gonna learn that.
It doesn't
and
feel
then it's
good. I don't
gonna-
want to repeat that.
Yeah.
feeling.
But that's you learning on your own.
Right.
That's not me raising a child and being like sex is bad. Like you can't think of the others. Like masturbation's bad and you're a bad person for you know what I mean? Like that's different.
See, like I think like religion sometimes like they've like I don't think it's all bullshit. I think that they mixed truth with like vanity and ego for the people who are in charge, because like there is truth in that. Like you say, like we all have like a certain emotion or experience that we all kind of share together about what it feels like to hurt someone or what it feels like to make someone like super happy. Like that's something that no one can really, that's something that you learn in experiences. And I think like religion, people have learned certain beats in human, like in what it is to be human, and they've kind of coupled that together to gain some sort of like you said, like power over everybody. So I don't know if it's a completely bullshit.
Because it's just the people. I'm just like the powers that be. They created the idea of good and evil. Do not follow the same code as good and evil that they want us to follow. They will fight, kill, whatever they need to do to keep that, to keep their power. They created it so we don't step out of line. So we don't, like, we might think twice about like killing our way to the to start a riot in order to take down the government.
I understand what you're saying, but when you speak of these I don't think that it was formulated that way. As in, it started with the original purpose of we'll create this to do this. I think that humans, it just has kind of happened, and there's new generations, and it just kind of has fit a mold, and it's not like it was like, let's start this thing called Christianity, and we'll use that to.
I mean,
I just think it was started one way, and then
I think
whether
it
you
started with
agree
good
why it
intentions
created,
almost.
but it was at least used for that.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So it was used on a massive scale. There might have been a guy like, oh, let's believe in God, and but then someone's like, oh, I could see how I could use this to make everyone feel bad about
That's what
themselves.
I mean. Where you the second,
But that's
like you can
either
start
way.
something that is so pure, and there's people that will turn it, no matter what.
Yeah.
That's the issue. Where it's like
Yeah.
you have people that are moral, whatever your definition of that is. You will also have people that are immoral.
I think morality is fake, though. I think that maybe we learn what we feel is. I think the idea of right and wrong is fake, and we put that on our own feelings. You know what I mean? Like our own feelings are our own feelings. Like, yeah, I grew up, and if nobody taught me that murder was wrong, I'd probably still feel that it's wrong, just based on my own whatever.
Right.
But it's not right and wrong. It's not someone that murders someone isn't morally wrong. That's a construct.
It's it's hard because it's like what I do know is that when you do something poor, whatever is against your moral code, your body makes sure you know that. You will get a feeling.
Yeah.
The same way that if you do good in your life, if you make someone smile, your body rewards you for that.
What
And
if you don't feel that?
Then there's something wrong.
I feel like that's a big part of what depression is.
Right.
It's like it's just your body has a really shitty way of reinforcing good behavior.
Right.
Yeah, but and so what if you think it's wrong? If somebody doesn't feel that way, they're wrong.
No, I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm saying there is something wrong.
Why?
Like this. All right. So you say in your own experience that you've learned certain things.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, let's just like killing someone's wrong, right? That's your experience, right? I have that same experience. He has that same experience. Okay, now that's our experience that we share. All right, let's make it a law.
Don't disagree with that.
Right. No,
Explain.
Fully. I think it should be all individual. At least, yeah, of course there's
It
control.
would-
Like can't have an anarchy, but in terms of who am I to tell someone that doesn't feel that or have the same learned experience as me?
But
is
we all
wrong?
do. We all have
Yeah, I
we
know,
all
but
share a
who
similar
are we to
experience.
say to the fourth guy in the room that doesn't have that experience? Like, oh, we outnumber you, you're wrong.
Yeah,
That's,
it's not-
but that's how it works.
That's how
Yeah.
it works. Yes, but
Yeah,
that's
but
how it was created.
Yeah, but it's also, of course, but it's the same as always. Where if you have 100 people that believe in this one way of life, and you have 2 that don't, they're chastised. They're
I know.
wrong.
Yeah.
I know, but I think that idea was used and created
But
at some point.
Basically,
And
of course, but
yeah.
you hope that the majority of people actually have it in a way that is healthy.
yeah, but okay, what about a fucking tribe that has never been, you know what I mean, like those tribes that we find in like the Amazon that have
Who like
never,
eat people
yeah,
and
come in
cannibals
contact,
and
and
stuff.
then a reporter goes and they kill them, like
I think there's nothing wrong with that.
exactly.
Yeah.
Why?
But I also think killing is wrong. But I think there's why?
Why is there nothing wrong with them doing it?
Yeah, then it is 100% society if that's
Yeah.
Because you can't help but represent the tribe you're in.
right. That's what I
Maybe.
mean. Where it's to them that is an alien. They've never seen a person walk that that looks that way.
Ooh.
That's showing up in their society.
Mm-hmm.
Intruders. It's an alien. They see helicopters that fly over. They've never seen that before. That's
Yeah,
a
well,
fucking spaceship.
Okay, so
Yeah.
someone who lives in the Midwest and like a Mexican dude that they've never seen Mexicans in their whole life, and they're like, "Holy fuck, you're gonna take my job?" And like, I've never seen you, and who the fuck you speak some weird fucking language? I was never taught this language. I'm gonna kill you because you're an alien to me.
It's called
Is it-
racism.
Exactly. Why is it different?
It's not.
So it's racism for the tribe too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's 100% racist.
I mean, racism's again another.
You're different from me,
Another
and
morality created
Yeah.
construct.
It is.
It's a tribal. It is definitely like a primitive tribal way
Yeah.
of looking at.
But we judge the
things.
dude in the Midwest way more than we judge the tribe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not like it's
'Cause
tough
they're
because it's
considered
like
part of
I
our
don't blame
society.
the tribe. I don't blame them. I understand why it's a fear reaction to like this. What is this?
Yeah, but I guess like why doesn't it apply if it's morality is morality? If good and evil is good and evil, why does it apply not everywhere?
It's a good analogy you did
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. I came up
because
with
it's no, it's
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 true.
true.
Yeah.
it should have. If
I'm
it's a
trying
thing,
to-
if it's good is good and evil is evil, then it's a constant.
Right. Also, what's weird is if you were to go, like, a white person travels to certain parts of the world, and it's also racism when the tribe, like, wants to touch their skin and just, they're amazed. That's racism on a reverse level,
Yeah.
where it's like,
I don't think it's. I mean, I think it is racism
It's
the way we know racism, but I think racism's kind of a. I don't think that's right. I think racism is.
well,
a
racism has
hatred.
clearly gotten a negative. It's just separation by race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's but it's like a hatred for something because you don't understand.
Well, that's
it.
what society has said racism is.
Yeah.
Dude, it seriously blows my mind when you think about that. Like, every single thing is a tribe. Like, I think about that. Even when it comes down to like all these like even computer shit, like Apple users and Mac, like
Totally.
Yep.
PC, like everything is a tribe,
And
like,
people-
everything.
I guess
They
my
stick to that shit like fucking crazy.
I guess
Yeah.
the idea that I'm trying to play with that I don't necessarily agree is like that idea may not be human nature. That has potentially been created to control us.
But what my thought is if we're going and doing that, then it clearly is human nature.
I know. Okay, they found something though that you know what I mean. Like there's plenty of like in the Wild West, we killed each other without, and that was human nature. Now we don't do that. Now not doing that's human nature. You know what I mean? Like we can say the same for any like time and like they used to fuck little boys and that back in Roman, I mean that was just what they did. Now that's not that ain't okay.
No.
So, but that was created. So, like, potentially, there was a time when we all just were, and we all had our own ideas, and we just.
I just
came
don't know if
in-
there ever was a time like that. I think that because we are at base like competitive animals, we will always find ways to separate ourselves from others, and we are close to those that are like-minded, and anyone else, fuck you. Because I mean,
Okay, well then now we're trying to. If you do that, you're a bad person and you're racist because. So this idea of equality then can't work with the same thought.
it can work. It just can't work everywhere.
It can't. I mean, if I think it's really weird that you just want to decide to be an octopus, I'm never gonna be able to go, oh yeah, that's your choice. Like your pronoun is octopus now, and you're welcome.
Right. I might very
Yeah.
harshly disagree with that, but society will say I can't say anything about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, because the tool they use, it's so fucked up, is now shaming you.
Yes.
Right.
So
They felt shamed, and then so they shame you.
the very tool, they're kind of
They're hiding behind it.
yeah,
So yeah, I just
which
it-
is extremely effective.
Oh yeah.
oh yeah.
Extremely.
Well, and that's what I mean.
And also
Potentially
when
that's
you're-
where it started. I don't know, in Egyptian times or before that, or some ancient civilization that we aren't even aware of. It could have been very different, and
Right. I don't know. We've gotten soft. I think
we're very
before
valuable.
when you were different, you were killed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now when you're different,
Not
you're
if my-
held up.
Not of my tribe
And
can
separated.
beat your tribe.
Right.
The like even nowadays, like that's kind of how I see it. Is like evolution and the species is still competing with each other, like just in these little ways. It's like we're still trying to out whatever each other.
But at the same time, like we're all intelligent people in this room, and we understand at our core that we're all the same. You know what I mean? Like we can all say that we're all the same. We're all like, there's not a good and evil. Like you're this, you're that, but we're still in a society, and we're still it's part of a society, and we still like fall into it, even though we have different thoughts.
Totally.
Right.
I-
Where's that? What's that about?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird because I will look at people's choices and I will think they are less than me for them.
I mean, that's the
I
thing.
will.
Like,
Yeah.
like we can sit here and we can say like that we know that, and like that's very true. Like I actually think that idea is really beautiful. The idea that we're all the same and that we're all kind of like no one's better than anybody else. But I'm telling you, like I have to constantly check myself on that
don't care.
idea,
Yeah.
because if I'm not careful, that's kind of my like ego, or you know what I mean, whatever that is. This might not necessarily. Doesn't work nowadays. Back in the day, it probably would have been a lot more useful. But now it's kind of, we're just kind of trying to shove that shit down so we can exist together without killing each other.
Yeah, maybe we can't.
Right. I think we're gonna get so everyone's gonna get so fucking pent up trying to be fucking nice to each other that we're gonna
It's gonna be bad.
oh, we're gonna blow. And
That's
when we
what-
do, it's gonna be fucking
I think
That's-
I think
chaos.
white people are gonna get it the worst.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's what,
We've had
what's
it
going to
too good for
happen
too
is
long.
a white liberal president is going to make it like they're going to spark the revolution against white people because they're going to, without knowing it, they're going to be like, yeah, fight the president, blah, blah, blah. And then we're going to turn around back, oh, that's us.
Yeah.
Because the people that stand up for rights and for other people's rights the most are out of touch white people.
right.
The most, I mean,
Yeah.
Who's-
Look at your picket lines. Look at your
who's
fucking
talking about pronouns, who's talking about racism, who's talking about anti-gun,
That's
who's
true.
talking about is all white people who aren't those things.
Yeah.
It's like straight white people, straight white women, straight white. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's like they're bored looking for something to latch onto that
I
makes
know.
them separate.
I feel good.
Or they just feel like they are like
Not evolved enough or something. I don't know.
Or guilt or shame.
I don't know. That's what I think. There's like a guilt that goes along with having it so damn good.
Yeah.
Just like take it, man. Like it's the fact is, and it's whether it's right or wrong, I'm not getting into. But being a white male in America is the best thing to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, like so I worked in many kitchens with Mexican dudes that are illegal immigrants. They ain't sitting in the back talking about political, like, you know what I mean? Like, we gotta fight for it. They're like, yeah, I'm just trying to make a fucking buck. Like, yeah, I don't like Trump. I don't like the wall. But they aren't like, this is atrocious. They understand. They live real life.
Yeah.
They aren't sitting back with a bunch of money and like a fake job. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Bored.
bored and like feeling better than they're like, I'm just trying to get by, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just grateful they're here and that they
Yeah,
can send money
totally.
home to Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
I
this is
respect that
great.
shit so much.
Dude, I fuck with them illegals.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. Like, I understand. I mean, and you want to see who the worst culprits of are European countries, and the racism that is there is so much worse than America.
Yeah.
People don't understand
And that's
that.
the
They
thing,
don't
is
think
that,
that.
Like against who?
Like France, like all these, like
Yeah, but
the-
it's funny
the-
because
they're killing Muslim. They're just like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, get out of my country. I kill you now.
right, and you don't hear about it as much because Muslims just won't go there then.
No, they do still, but yeah,
No, like not the numbers.
yeah,
It's like there are countries that are their bloodlines are still very intact, and it's like
yeah. And it's funny because liberals use those countries, like, oh, look how peaceful it is. Look how there's no violence. Like,
Yeah,
well,
closed
yeah,
borders.
It's all people who think the same, agree with the same things,
And they don't
haven't
let anyone in that
anyone
changes
Of
that.
course, it's peaceful. That's how peace is found. Is through racism. Let's be honest.
like the Swiss.
Yeah.
The Swiss figured it out.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Go to Switzerland. Everyone looks the fucking same.
yeah, they're like, oh, well, there's no murder in Switzerland because it's like, well, yeah,
They're all
it
fucking
ain't
related.
because the guns are not. It's they're all think exactly the same
yeah,
way.
their brains are only a
There's
few.
no one to disagree with someone else.
Their genetics are too similar to disagree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we have the same religion, the same political belief. Of course, we get along.
Yeah, same president for 50 years.
Yeah. It's like, no, because they have. It's like, well, one, they actually don't have strict gun laws. Like in Switzerland, you can do whatever the fuck you want. So
In
Yeah.
Switzerland is at like the lowest crime or killing.
I don't know if it's the lowest, but it's fucking low.
Yeah, and they come up with brilliant products because they're not wasting man hours, like thinking about how I'll make this sign for my fucking picket bullshit
Yeah.
really good, and everyone will really get a kick out of this.
Yeah, it's
like,
not like
no, let's make a fucking Dyson. Let's make a fucking army knife.
yeah.
Let's make the Dyson fucking little
Yeah.
zip pod.
But
thing
what
to do.
happened in France is they started having the more liberal presidents, and they started opening their borders, and the people are revolting, and now it's fucked. The economy's fucked. There's riots. There's like Muslims like so much hate crimes happening.
Shit.
So it's funny, like the racism has started because of the lack of racism. From the powers that they're like, oh no, everyone's equal, it's everyone in. Oh wait,
Wait,
oh fuck,
guys, we were
just
damn,
kidding.
We didn't know that many people were gonna come.
Yeah,
That's so crazy.
Yeah,
and
I mean, it's the whole like you call it racism, call it whatever you want. I don't really fucking care. But I think the idea of open borders is ridiculous.
You do. Explain.
I just because like you live. I mean, I think you should be able to go to these different places, but I don't think it should just be like pass freely, willy nilly.
why not?
Like, why not?
not willy nilly, but why not? Can I decide to go be an Irish citizen?
Yeah, I think
Why?
that you should still be able to do that.
So that's an open border, right?
Well, no, I just don't think that. I think that it all has to be like a transaction.
Yeah.
Like,
well, isn't
like-
it that way?
well, as in like if all we're getting is an influx, we need to try to balance the fucking books. It's like it's a numbers game in my mind.
Yeah.
Where like we're not United States, we're not really like
That's my dog.
we're not. People don't leave here.
Yeah.
Only people come in,
Only
and
rich,
the numbers
rich white
don't
people
make
live
sense.
here.
What do you think about this? What if there were no borders ever? And there was just one single economy? Would that work?
I think
Global
And there was
economy?
one single
Currency.
government
No.
and
couldn't.
ruling power.
Human nature can't.
no.
Again, like we're talking about, people are. they're
Because then
different.
people will separate no matter what. Because then you'll separate. Your place is harsh and cold. You're gonna be a different person than people that live in the sun all day.
Well, because that's not a democracy either, right? So the idea of democracy is we get to choose, right?
yeah,
what
but
we
he's
believe
saying
in
if it's a vote, then the whole world votes for
who are
one.
we voting for?
Well, it's just weird when you look at like pictures of the Earth and you don't see it as like states and there's no borders. It just kind of looks like one big
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
So
just-
I mean, that could work with more of an anarchy type society and be dangerous, but I think that would work.
What if there was like one global power?
No, that's bad
And it
news.
was
That's
just
what they
like-
want. That's literally what the Illuminati wants. If we're believing in the Illuminati,
You
If
sound
we
like a
believe-
fucking Sith Lord, bro.
Just saying, that's the idea. Imagine how much power. It's too much power. It's too much.
Too much.
Global bank, global economy, you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
that's fucked.
The second it crashes,
Well,
everyone's
that
fucked.
too. But also, we already disagree with, half of our country disagrees with our president,
It's too big.
right?
It's too big.
So half the world is going to disagree with the leader.
Right.
That's what, 2 billion people that are against it.
That's why everywhere,
Tribal.
no matter what, splits up. As in, our nation is big.
Small
It
government.
was too much to
Woo!
control over that, so we split it up into states.
Yeah.
Easier
That's
to
why
maintain and
small
smaller.
government works.
And every state has a mayor of each town, which leads that town, and it's like everything gets it's
Yeah.
all separate.
And that's
and
why
it's because it's too big to. It's just too much, too many people, too many point of views.
if honestly, if states got to have their own, you know how like Texas wants to,
Yeah, I mean, it still can legally.
yeah,
Like,
if they did that, and then all the state, I think we'd have a very peaceful country. Like much
Yeah.
more, but the government, the government, they don't want that because that's no
If
control
Texas
anymore.
did what?
Seceded from the union.
and we're its own thing.
Yeah. So like
Well, I mean, shit. California
wants to do that. I'm saying that probably would work if every state did it and had their own I think small government works way more than Big government.
As crazy as that idea is, though, I do feel in a weird way like we are moving that direction
We're not moving away from it.
with
That's
with
what's
the
gonna happen.
ideas of tolerance and
Yes.
equality. That's kind of in. I think we're just kind of moving like everyone can come in, no discrimination.
It's
Just
well, no. What's going to happen is if an extreme liberal president comes in, the non-liberal states, if it's extreme and it's like open borders, benefits for everybody, like 90% of your check goes, like if it goes crazy and becomes like a socialist society, the states will start to see 100%.
yeah.
Has
Because
to
and
happen.
it's also just because of the political climate
I
where
will.
where right and left are very
see.
separated at this point.
Mm-hmm.
There's no like there isn't a middle ground right now.
More than it's ever been, and that is
Yeah.
by plan. That is 100% on purpose. You don't think these politicians, like the Trumps and the Clintons, go way back, best friends? They're all fucking homies, and they all know what the fuck they're doing, dude. Of course, everything's motivated by money and power. It's not motivated by righteousness and morality.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. It's not motivated by what's right and what's wrong. You think, like, that's why Bernie will never become president. They can't let that happen.
What's crazy is that like people get so into that stuff, but in reality, like your lifetime's not very long. But you're willing to fucking sell your soul to have the most power. You're gonna be dead, and then you're leaving a line of where that will continue.
That's your family. That's what they.
I know, but
the
it's
families go to
crazy
that.
because it's like, you know.
Well, maybe they aren't. Maybe they're aliens and they live forever. You know, I don't know.
Yeah,
They're
Reptilians.
lizard people.
Forgot about the fucking. Maybe they're gray.
Yeah.
Maybe they're grays.
Yeah, or even if they're human,
Shapeshifters.
they have their family that's very inbred and gets to continue to control the power, and they are motivated by that.
What if one day we all look like Trump?
Hell yeah.
Oh no.
While May is whining her ass off,
Me. Ooh.